Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful 12th of May, 2024. Coming up, the Crusty podcast, episode 279, the Top Mounties request. Yes, Canada's top Mountie has a really strange request, to say the least. And, of course, more wildfire panic. Yes, predictions for this year's wildfire season. Oh, my, get the water hoses ready. And climate change is going to get us all. Don't worry. Listener and viewer discretion is advised, because I do swear, say some bad words, make funny faces, and smoke cigarettes. Please stick around.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me.
Yes, sir.
There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthless.
From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast, a Canadian veteran's point of view on political, social, economic issues, and life. Here's Crusty.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, episode 279 of the Crusty Canuck podcast, Top Mounties request and more wildfire panic. I'm your host, Crusty Canuck. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Hope you're all having a great weekend. I know I am. I'm working this weekend, but I just had an amazing dinner. My wife made this beautiful French toast dinner. It was excellent. Texas toast, a little bit of Mexican vanilla, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of love. Voila aussi, you have a plate of beautiful French toast and bake it too, I might add it. If you like and hear what you see, ladies and gentlemen, click like and subscribe. Do not forget to share this content all over your social media platforms too. Had some mic issues there with the last 5 minutes of my last episode. Hope it's resolved now. If there's any issues, please let me know in the comments section, ladies and gentlemen. And this podcast is also supported and brought to you in part by Veterans for Freedom Network. That's right, V4F, Veterans for Freedom. And stick around and stay tuned for updates on Veterans for Freedom Television. Yours truly will probably have a podcast, his podcast, or my podcast on there sometime soon. Anyway, carrying on with this episode 279. So this was actually brought to my attention by a guy I follow on YouTube there. He's an ex-Mountie. He actually has some really good videos on his channel there. He goes by Northwest Cavalryman. He's ex-RCMP himself. He's quite the musician, and he does quite the commentary. And I'll give a shout out to Northwest Cavalryman. Thank you for putting this video up, bring it to my attention. And I found the story on CTV, and I will post it here for you too. And I'll post a link to Northwest Cavalryman's video, and we'll get to the bottom of this here too. But it's interesting how things are turning in our society with all these terrible things that are going on in the world today. This is from CTV. This was, I think, from today, if I'm not mistaken. And I'll just cue it up for you, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll read along with you too. Quite the interesting little article, to say the least. I wonder who remembers what that leaked tweet the RCMP had when they did their presence at the Ottawa convoy, and some of the things that they said there, right? I wonder who remembers that. If you remember that, please give me a thumbs up or give me a comment or two once you see this video. And with this from CTV, RCMP boss expressed a desire for new law to deal with threats against politicians. Okay, now there's more to it than just that, ladies and gentlemen. Now, RCMP Commissioner Mike Duhaime says he wants the government to look at drafting a new law that would make it easier for police to pursue charges against people who threaten elected officials. The Mounties are seeing an increase in invective directed at politicians, including comments from the same individuals on multiple occasions, Duhaime said in an interview. However, often the behavior does not meet the criminal code threshold for laying a charge of uttering threats. So that's sometimes a challenge, quote unquote, Duhaime said. But there are other tools that we can use, question mark. Is there anything else that we can add to the criminal code that can address this situation? Now, think about that. With all the criminals that are being released, catch and release in today's society, those 4 individuals that have just been caught in BC for killing that Kalistani promoter, right? What's going to happen to them? How about the individuals that have been caught on bail and released the same day? One of those individuals that stole the gold in Toronto last year, he was released on bail. Go figure. right? But now here's the top cop, Canada's top cop, okay, to say the least, is recommending this to protect politicians from threats. You mean like words? You know? No. So someone go to jail because someone spray painted the word CUNT on Catherine McKenna's office? She deserved it. It's unprofessional, but yeah, I think you get my point here. Anyhow, it goes on to say the RCMP hopes to work with Public Safety Canada and the Department of Justice on the possibility of a new provision to address the phenomenon. Well, it's not a phenomenon. People are getting pissed off there, Mike. Okay, Mike. Hello, Mike. Quote unquote, it'd be nice to see if we could look at that, he said. Yeah, let's look into creating more laws and putting more people on the spot and instilling more fear in people for words. Yeah, that's really great, Buckeye. God damn it. People feel more free to express what they really think, which is a good thing, but it has to be done in a very, very civil way. Every elected official has the right to feel secure in doing their job. Okay. Duhaime's comments come amid a growing concerns about the safety of politicians. MPs have been followed on the street and subjected to death threats. The escalation has prompted efforts to bolster protection and security measures. Ontario Liberal MP Pam Damoff, okay, Pam, recently announced that we should not run the next election, saying the threats and the misogyny, says she has experienced, made her fearful of going out in public. Well, Pam, you also made some stupid comments about gun owners and about military members in this country. So you're going to get some backlash, toots, right? Duhaime said the RCMP regularly communicates with other police forces about threats to politicians. In addition, the Mounties have a liaison team that keeps in touch with federal ministerial offices about daily security needs, and the force works closely with the House of Commons Sergeant at Arms concerning protection of MPs. The force will sometimes turn into disruption measures, with officers knocking on the door of someone who has made a concerning comment to have a chat with them. Duhaime said, yes, we will go to your door and we will ask you a certain question, jawohl, yes. Did you write this email to this person? What was your intent with that, jawohl? Oh, I don't think that's very good. I don't think you should do that again. Do we have an understanding here? Yeah, jawohl. See, that's the way I look at it, ladies and gentlemen. Holy shit. RCMP behavioral science specialists, they didn't say experts, they said specialists, also look at the incoming cases, and the force has noticed that disturbing comments sometimes come from people known to the force from earlier incidents, he added. Okay. An intelligence report released in March said threats against politicians had become increasingly normalized due to the extremist narratives prompted by personal grievances and fueled by misinformation or deliberate lies. Okay. Well, they keep throwing those words misinformation around. Misinformation, disinformation. How about the fact that we watch some of these politicians, whether it be on the CPAC channel or in Question Period, or on Sunday when CTV puts Question Period back and forth, and we analyze what they say. And when some of these politicians sit in press conferences and say ridiculous things to the Canadian people, our prime minister has done it when it came to the convoy. You know, people who didn't want to get the jibby jab were called misogynists and racists and homophobes and Islamophobes and all that good stuff, right? Right. Toronto Star did a big editorial there during the pandemic saying all these people are not vaccinated, should just die and do all these terrible things, right? And yet here's the RCMP guy worrying about the general public speaking their minds. See what we're getting into, ladies and gentlemen, right? The June 2023 report prepared by a federal task force that aims to safeguard elections said baseless theories, disinformation, and misinformation had spread to larger audiences, exposing online users to a vast network of narratives that undermine the science, systems of government, and traditional figures of authority. Quote unquote, violent rhetoric routinely fixates on elected officials with particular hostility towards high profile women, the report said. Okay, bullshit. I am so sick and tired of these hidden agendas looking for sexism. Oh, high profile women. You're giving women a hard time for being high profile. No, people are calling out women for doing stupid things, just like when they call out men for doing stupid things. I like to warn you, politicians, you're in the national spotlight. Okay? You have a camera in your face, a microphone in your face. You say stupid things. Stupid things are going to happen. Oh, boy. Who knew? Right? In recent years, countries including Bolivia, Brazil, and Tunisia have brought in legislation directed at violence against women in politics. Ensuring that social media platforms are enforcing terms of service that will minimize the sense of violence is important, said Chris Tenove, Assistant Director of the Center of Study for Democratic Institutions at the University of British Columbia. Okay. What I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave this article, okay, in my description. You read it and you just think for yourself about it, because this is just total BS. Honestly. Okay. They're so worried about threats of violence. Okay. And when you look at the threats of violence and the discomfort that's going around now, look at what's happening. Look what these politicians are doing. Look what these leaders are doing to the Canadian people. Okay. Now, I'm not justifying violence. I'm not going to promote violence towards any politician. But if you're going to take the responsibility of running for any office, whether it be municipal, provincial, or federal, if you're going to take the initiative to join a party that has some really, really ridiculous policies, like national debt and treating our military like crap and giving all the money away to other militaries so they can fight the good fight, right? What do you expect people to say? What do you expect people to do? Come on in, put your feet on my coffee table. Would you like a coffee? Would you like a slap and tickle for your pickle? Hey, maybe a reach around or two? Hey, want to date my sister? What do you want? What do you expect? Well, it just goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, that more and more of these politicians expect the crack to smoke itself.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
And furthermore, what do you think is going to happen? Right? Catherine McKenna made a big stink when she was in office about people saying the word CUNT to her. Now, I don't believe in defacing someone's property, but look at the mandates that she was pushing when she was the environmental minister, right? I don't have time for anybody who disagrees with me. You stomp your feet and you say it loud enough in Parliament, people are going to believe you. And there's also questions upon questions of billions of dollars that were supposed to go to the infrastructure bank, right? And it didn't get there. So when you read a report like that, Canada's top cop is promoting we have to make better laws to protect the politicians. How about you make better laws to protect the citizens of this country instead of worrying about a handful of politicians that might be offended? Welcome to the public spotlight. Welcome to public office. You are not impartial to criticism. You're not impartial to suggestion. And you're definitely not impartial to scrutiny either. So, put on the big boy pants, the big boy skirties, or the little girl skirties, whatever your preference is, and start being adults. It's that effing simple, ladies and gentlemen. But, it's just, wow. We got to protect these people. It seems like every time we turn around, there's always a certain group of individuals that want special treatment here or special treatment there or over here, or want a little slappy here and tickle there, a little back rub there. Some avocado toast with a nice cup of tea. Oh, wow. Come on. Like, enough is enough here. So I highly suggest that people question this man's ability, question this man's leadership. And if anybody knocks on your door and inquires about what you said to somebody, then you stand your ground and tell them the truth. Okay? And know your rights, too. Talk to an attorney first, just to make sure that everything's copacetic. Right? Because any cop that comes knocking on my door wants to know why I said this and why I said that. I'll probably tell him the truth. This individual pissed me off, or she pissed me off, or he pissed me off, or they pissed me off. Whatever, kids. Time to grow up and grow a pair.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
And just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, if you like and hear what you see, please click like and subscribe. Share this content all of your social media platforms. Don't be shy. Give me a comment. Give me a thumbs up, especially my friends there on the tube and on the Rumble. Give me some comments too. And I have a special message out there for people that see me on Rumble. I appreciate your subscriptions, but any solicitors who are trying to sell me more views, right, and to show me a European number for WhatsApp, brace yourself. I'm going to say this once. Okay. I don't care what your name is. I don't care where you're from. I'm sick and tired of your solicitation. I've already written reports to the powers that be on Rumble to block you. But if you come again and go, oh, wow, what a great channel, let me help you, fuck off. Okay? It's that simple. All right. I am so sick and tired of these fly-by-night, these fly-by-night promoters that say they can do wonderful things for low cost. And the only thing they do is they sell your stuff to bots or they sell your data to other shitheads who don't really give a shit. Okay. So the next person that invites me to a WhatsApp, okay, on my Rumble, I'm reporting you and I'm blocking you. It's that simple. So don't waste my effing time. Whew, now that's off my chest. Anyway, carrying on with this episode, 279, the top Mounties request, and more wildfire panic. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We've got these wildfires issues that are starting to happen. You know, it's every year, every spring, things get warmer. Okay. Poor forest management, a lot of deadfall on the ground. It does catch fire because of lightning and because of human incompetence too. But of course, the powers that be would have us believe that it's because of climate change and the world's dying and we have to take more money out of your pocket to save your life, right? We believe that narrative. I don't believe that narrative in a second, ladies and gentlemen. I do not believe that narrative whatsoever. Do we have pollution issues? Yeah, there's some issues that can be looked at, right? But here's an article here from Global, of all places, too, right? And it was actually written last month, I believe. Yeah, April 10th, from Naomi Bargill. So, and I've seen some of her work before. She's one of those panickers as well. Basically, what they're doing is they're worried about what's going to happen because of last year. And we saw our environment ministers, we saw our prime minister, we saw every Tom, Dick, and Harry and so-called expert in the field tell us that if we don't do something about this, the world's going to die. I'll leave an article from Global. I'm not even going to read it. It's just so much verbal diarrhea. And of course, they put on the whole climate change, right? We both know that wood does not spontaneously combust unless you throw in some gasoline, throw in some kindling, some other additives, strike a match, voila, there's your fire. But then you have lightning too, and you have people that do take walks in the woods and wooded areas, and they drop their cigarettes, they don't butt them out properly, and what do you know? Bit of dry grass there, whatever. Even last year, though, there was a few people from Quebec. I think there was 2 lads from Quebec that were actually arrested for arson, a couple in Yukon and Northwest Territories, and even some ass clowns here in Alberta that were caught setting the fires. Not just throwing a smoke down, literally taking a lighter and igniting, right? To either promote the narrative or to instill fear or just because they're dicks, okay? There's a person I used to work with who works in the forestry service. And she would basically tell me that 20% of every fire that happens is due to human error, i.e. cigarette butts, campfires, right? Last year, it went up because of arsonists. The other 80% of the time is natural causes, i.e. lightning strikes, which has happened since the dawn of time. Okay. So to my listeners and my viewers out there alike, if you're worried about the climate, okay, each to their own. Okay. But you and I both know deadfall does not spontaneously combust. Right? We're not going to have fire and brimstone. The apocalypse is not coming. So we have to ask the tough questions. Talk to somebody who works in the forestry service. Talk to somebody who's done forestry management. Because there's lots of speculation out there too in this country that a lot of forestry management systems have gone to the dogs because people have ignored it. People aren't cleaning up the deadfall as they should be. People aren't looking after certain areas, right? I saw a video the other day of Mr. Harjeet Sajjan talking about fire guards. Oh, what an innovation. They've only been around for a little while there, Harjeet. Where have you been? Oh, that's right. Probably getting older parts again for our old F-18s again. My bad. Right? So we can't buy the hype and buy the bullshit, ladies and gentlemen. Enough is enough. Honestly. Like, just start being sensible. If you're a smoker and you're outside, dispose of your butt properly. Bury it. Or field strip it. Common sense. It's that simple. Don't let the mainstream narrative govern what we're going to do during this time of year. Weather's getting better. People are going out, being a little more mobile, and every year there's going to be wildfires. Why? Because it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. I don't have an answer for Mother Nature. I have an answer sometimes for stupid people. They do stupid things. You do stupid things to them, right? If you catch someone setting a fire, kick their ass. It's that simple, right? How else do we fight this panic that's constantly being put down our throats? How else do we fight these things? Either ask the tough questions, put the powers that be on the spot. Like I remember as a kid, we had a record high spring, and there were no issues with fires because people were using their head. People weren't instilling fear and giving us a hard time, saying, "Oh my God, climate change, climate change, climate change. What are you going to do?" No one worried about it. People were worrying about a second ice age back in the 70s. Back in the 80s, people were worrying about acid rain and then the ozone layer, right? Then you had people come up and say, well, because of science, they figure it out. Yeah, because of science, they figured it out. And people stopped panicking too, and they figure it out. So the thing is, lay off the panic, right? You're not going to make people work faster or find a viable solution to Earth's problems when you instill panic. You're not. This is not like a sci-fi movie of the week here. This is real life here, right? George Carlin, one of his best comedic routines was, the planet's fine, the people are fucked, right? So it's self-explanatory, ladies and gentlemen. We shouldn't have to sit and dwell on this because we have a handful of activists that want us to give away more money and take more money in the name of this plight and this panic. Because you and I both know not every Tom, Dick, and Harry can drop $65,000 down on an EV vehicle that needs to be charged on a daily basis, right? Because we don't have the grid yet to support said such phenomena if everyone bought an EV vehicle. But not everybody has $60,000 to $65,000 of disposable income just to throw down on a vehicle right away too. Right? So with all this crap with people wanting to change the laws and certain police officers, okay, Mike Duhame, hey, you want to make better laws to protect a handful of politicians, right? Are you going to knock on my door because I disagree with this environmental policy that stupid Stephen Guilbeault wants to promote? Or, ditzy Catherine McKenna tried to promote too because someone called her a nasty name? Am I going to be in trouble for saying that? No, I don't wish harm on these individuals, but I really want to see him get humbled. That's for sure. And I want to see him defeated in the next goddamn election too. Oh, that'd be beautiful, eh? Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that just be the best? Eh? That would be fantastic, right? Would that be a crime there, Mike, if I said that? No. Super top Mountie Mike Duhame, would that be terrible if I said that? Would it be terrible if I want to see these people fired, or I want to see them humiliated, give them a taste of their own medicine, especially the medicine they were handing out during the pandemic? Would that be considered as a threat? No. It's just desserts. It's simple. You throw shit at people, you get it back. Anyhow, I've been Crusty Canuck on this beautiful 12th of May, 2024, ladies and gentlemen. I wish nothing but good things for you all out there. Take your time. Enjoy the weather. Don't be in such a rush to get to work. Don't be in such a rush to panic. And just don't panic. It's that simple. Special mention out there again, too, to Mr. Northwest Cavalryman. I will leave the video in my description, what he said about Mr. Mike Duhame. He's an ex-Mountie himself, so he knows what he's talking about. So it's just, give him a chance. He's got a great channel too, so subscribe to him if you can. He's just down-to-earth, common sense kind of guy, like how most Canadians should be, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I've been Crusty Canuck on this 12th of May, 2024. Good things for you all out there. I wish the best for you. Once again, thank you to all my new subscribers from Podbean and on Rumble too. Never mind that little bash I did to those solicitors out there. But all my new subscribers, thank you very much. Give yourselves a round of applause. You guys are awesome. Thank you once again to my Australian listeners in Australia on the Podbean app, in Britain, in Algeria, Nigeria, and a few others. There's a couple in Russia. I don't know if you're part of the war or not, but I'm not choosing sides at the moment here. I'm just trying to get my words out there to the world as we speak. But thank you to everybody who has downloaded on my Podbean. Thank you very much, especially my new American listeners out of California and in Virginia. Cheers. And everybody else that I've failed to mention too, especially my new English listeners too. I think about 25 of them have downloaded. So thank you very much, England. Well, to the homeland, I guess you can say. Anyhow, take care of yourselves. Try to find the light in this manufactured darkness. Do what you can, help you out in these trying times. Look after your neighbors, your friends, and loved ones. And like I always say, ladies and gentlemen, humanity and merit wins the day. I'll see you again Tuesday for another episode. Cheers.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me. Yes, sir. There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthy.
This has been another episode of the Crusty Canuck podcast. Stay sane and thank you for listening. From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast.
Well, smack my ass and call me Judy.